instead of spending, like, guy like Norman Smiley, for example. Norman Smiley goes to training, trains the guys, well-liked, does a great job, everyone loves him, gets his paycheck, goes home, enjoys his family, lives his life. No drama circulating him, no drama around him. A guy like Bill DeMott wakes up angry, goes to training, creates a ton of shit, injures a bunch of people, and then has to spend all of his time that it should be on the beach or what have you, literally making up excuses, making up lies, blaming other people, covering up his story, trying to lie to the office on what didn't really happen, and all of this stuff. And it's like he lives his life by this, and the next day if something leaks out, he'll punish everybody for that story getting out, and like why. Like, I don't understand, why do you choose to live your life like that? That's why I almost believe that he doesn't. I don't even know if he does things intentionally. I think there's something. I don't know. I mean, there was rumors obviously about he used to do pills or whatever and stuff like that. That was a highly speculated rumor in the past. I don't know if there's something screwed. I personally, if there was a gun to my head and someone says, "Do you think there's something mentally wrong with Bill?" I would say yeah. There's too much that doesn't add up for one human being. I think I don't know I don't really know the difference in. I mean, they all sound the same. I don't know the difference in being bipolar, or what's the difference between being bipolar and being a sociopath or schizo. I mean,
I really don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
I thought
bipolar, you have two. You have two personalities. Schizophrenic, you're just legit fucking crazy.
No, but look at Me, Myself, and Irene. He's a schizo. He had two personalities.
I love that movie.
Yeah, remember? She's like, no, he's a schizo, because he had split personalities. That's almost what he is. The guy in fucking Jim Carrey, in Me, Myself, and Irene. That's what he is. Where he
pisses on himself.
And then when the guy flicks the cigarette, he's like, I'm about to stick that butt and stick it up your pimply a-hole. Then he tries to stop fighting him. It's like literally, he's happy-go-lucky and stuff like that, and then he turns into this demon, like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So I really believe, whatever the difference is, maybe he's both. I don't know, maybe bipolar or schizo. But I think I would die if I could diagnose him. I guess that would be it. But aside from that, you want to call these guys up? I mean, I hope that we give a little bit of a background and insight, but we'll get these guys on. And see, what I'm talking about was from 2006. Obviously, the naked picture, most of you should know about it. If not, just put in Kevin Matthews, Bill DeMott into Google, and instantly that's the first thing that comes up is the picture, the naked picture incident. But I was talking about 2006 and stories from my buddies in developmental current day. See, now these two guys who are coming on lived through this. They lived through the NXT Bill DeMott era. So that's who we're going to get on now. And instead of bitter old Kevin saying these stories, these third-party stories and hearsay stories, you're going to have sources that, thank God, like I think I dreamt about this and it came true, for anybody to grow a set of fucking balls and step forward. Like, because, and just say the truth, because when I was going forward and doing this, I had everybody and their mother behind me saying, yeah, rooting me on like cheerleaders, from developmental guys to guys on the road to former fucking, trainers to fucking, former personalities to former office talent, like every single position in the wrestling business and the notable people, if I rattled off names, you would say I'm full of shit. You would say there's no way these guys were pulling for you. You're just trying to hype yourself up. So I'm not going to give names, and nor would I anyways. But it was all of these guys, and that also made me believe. Made me realize, wow, this guy is the people. These are guys who've known him for 20 years. These are guys who barely know me, if they know me at all, that are pulling for me to fucking bring this to the light and keep going and supporting the cause. And the main purpose of this is to open your eyes, and this is our own Be a Star, Don't Be a Bully campaign, but this is directed to the WWE. Like, this is crazy. It's like you guys you're harvesting the biggest bully in the company, who's beating up your people you're paying, not training them, beating them up. There's a difference. Like, you're paying these guys to learn the craft of pro wrestling, but in turn, you're actually giving them $45,000 a year starting to get beat up, like physically beat up, thrown into a building to get their asses pummeled and beat up, and then you guys have to flip the bill and pay for surgery. That's what you're paying for. You are paying the biggest bully there is who knows nothing about training talent. Like, so that's where I stand. So, all right, let's give these guys a call.
Let's say that being said, let's give Chad and Drew a call, get them on and see what they have to say. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to 2.5 Wrestlers Podcast. Right now on the lines with us, we have former NXT talents, Chad Baxter and Chase Donovan. I don't know if we're going to call you gentlemen by that tonight, but we'll just, I guess we'll just play it by ear. How you guys doing tonight?
Great. Good. How you doing?
Doing
now,
well.
For the record, you guys were signed when exactly?
I was in about 2011.
All right.
Yeah, I was like 2 months after him, so.
Okay, so you got the entire time you were there, it was with Bill DeMott as the head trainer?
Personally, for me, I started the same day. Like, my first day was actually Bill's first day as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was actually there with I started with Dr. Tom. So I was there when they released Tom.
So you were there when it was good?
Yeah, I was there when it was pretty good, man. But, I mean, you know, going in there, new guy was a little different for me.
And then a black cloud hovered over FCW.
Kinda, pretty much.
So overall, how would you rate your experience? I mean, everyone knows my experience from 2006 training with Bill. How would you, obviously this is the whole purpose of this episode of the podcast, how would you rate your experience with Bill?
You can go first, man. Yeah, man. Not well, and I'm going to try and be as subjective here as possible, I guess. I don't want to just sound bitter because obviously, you know, anybody that gets released is going to come in and do an interview or something like that. The immediate assumption is going to be, you know, this guy's bitter, he didn't want to get fired, yada, 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 all that.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut you off because Pat Buck, who's usually on this, someone said this to Colt Cabana the other day. They told Colt Cabana, like, you're just bitter. And then Colt Cabana hit up Pat. He's like, Pat, did I sound bitter? And Pat actually said, I didn't think so, but what's the problem even if you did? And he actually made a good point. It's okay to be bitter. Reason being, because you had a goal, you had a dream, I mean, this was your dream, and something bad happened, and it was taken away from you for no reason. There's no reason not to be bitter about that and to be upset and angry about that. Like, the way it was explained actually made a lot of sense. But there's ways to be bitter and just walk around pointing fingers, but there's other ways to take a bad experience and be bitter about it and turn it into a positive experience, which I like to believe this is what we're doing now. I mean, deep down, am I bitter about the way it went down with me in 2006? Fuck yeah, I am. I fucking busted my ass to get to WWE. I get there and that's what fucking happens. I'm in and out in less than a year, all because of this guy. I'm not happy about that.
You were bamboozled.
I mean, I'm sure you guys aren't happy about, you guys busted your ass, you know, you're not happy about the way things turned out. I mean, and then the way it was explained with Pat and Colt, I was like, that makes fucking sense. Like, I was always the same, like, oh no, I'm not bitter, and then I would try to defend it. Am I bitter about what happened? Well, yeah, I mean, when something bad happens, are you bitter about that? Fuck yeah, if someone shoots your fucking wife in the face, are you gonna be bitter about that? Yeah, you're gonna be bitter, you're gonna be happy about it. You're going to be bitter about it.
Party about it like, oh, hell yeah, I just got released.
But I think, no. Exactly. There's different forms of bitterness. I mean, and this is our bad experience now trying to turn it into a positive experience to stop what happened to me in 2006, what happened to you guys recently, to happen to the whole next generation that's there still right now. So I'm continuing along.
Gotcha. I actually agree with that 1,000%. You know, I'll go on the record right now and say actually I am bitter if that's the case. So I mean, because absolutely, I mean that works out fine. But let's put it this way: I'm going to try to articulate this in a way that doesn't seem like it's just, you know, incoherent, bitter bullshit, rambling and whatnot. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are bitter. I mean, it sucks. I mean, we should be there right now, and we're not. So. Exactly. But it's just it wasn't exactly what I thought it would be, and I think that's going to be the case you're going to hear from a lot of people in our situation or any situation really. I mean, I walked in, you know, took me about 7 years to get there. I finally get there thinking it's going to be one thing, and it's actually quite the opposite. I mean, it was a bad taste immediately right off the bat. I mean, I went in there and, you know, started busting my ass from day one, and I remember the first time I really got a feeling that things were going to be kind of weird and like there was an odd vibe there. I think it was about 10 days after I got there. And keep in mind, I got there during that weird transition when Bill was getting there and Dr. Tom was leaving. And there was a couple practices that we all had off, and there were a couple days without practice and whatnot. And I made it about 10 days into being, signed after my first day showing up. And we went to a NXT taping at Full Sail. And on the way out, talent relations grabbed me on the way out and said, "Oh, Drew, can we talk to you for a second?" Well, yeah, absolutely. What's up? And, I'm expecting at this point, and I'm maybe 5 practices in, not even, so that's 5 3-hour practices, if even that. And I'm expecting, how's everything going for you? Everything going good? And instead what I got is, hey, man, you're not really, the coaches have been saying that, in practice, you're not really getting the best reviews. What's going on, man? I'll let you know. I mean, it's not a good place that you're in right now. So my first thing was like
5 practices in.
5 practices in, and my first thing is like, well, I'm one of the guys that'll, one of many guys that'll stay after the fact and be like, what do I need to work on? And I'm somebody to be told, oh no, you're good. Just keep going with it. You know what you're doing. You know what you have to do. So I mean,
you're doing great. Keep up the good work.
Well, I'm getting like the 2-year talk. We're not seeing enough improvement from you 5 goddamn practices in. So immediately from there on out, I mean, I remember sitting in the car on the way back being like, how the fuck does that make any sense whatsoever? I just got here. And then from there on out, I mean, it was just like more and more weirdness, you know what I mean? It's like, then I realized, a couple weeks roll on, I realized we're not doing any matches. And then a couple weeks going on, they're like, oh, there's people not really, talking a lot about wrestling here. And then it's like, I mean, it gets to the point where I'm doing a lot of cardio, but I'm not really seeing a lot of actual ring time. And I'm sure Derek can kind of fill in the blanks there and kind of reiterate the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Shit. Okay, now whatchamacallit? Are you directly? Here we go. For them to say that 5 practices in, did you butt heads with Bill immediately?
Well, here's my thing about it. It's just like, and this is why hopefully, this will give kind of a unique point of view on it. I never really personally butted heads with Bill at all. You know what I mean? It was just, from my standpoint, it was like I was in a place where I felt like we had put ourselves rather in a situation where we actually had it going fairly well. And I mean, we had to put up with a lot of bullshit, and we watched even more bullshit than we had to put up with, but I felt we were in a place where we were at least a little bit more secure. So my big what the fuck moment kind of came at the end of it when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everything takes a left turn and I end up getting, a fucking 203 or whatever, Stanford phone number calling my phone at 7:30 on a Thursday night where I just need to look at my phone and go, okay, I know where the fuck this is going. Completely out of the blue though. So it's one of those things where it's like, we saw a whole lot of bullshit and we had to deal with a whole lot of bullshit, but the same token, like, we thought we were in a different place and apparently we were because we were just...
We had job security pretty much. We thought we were safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
we were working every show, every live event, every weekend.
And Bill was telling you guys you were doing great?
Yeah, more or less. We got stuff to work on like everybody else did. You know what I mean? It's a case where I approached it like very straightforward. It was basically, what do I have to do to get out of here and get on the road? Here's a list of what I have to do. Here's what I'm going to fucking do. I was just very straightforward. What do I have to do? And I was told what I had to do, and then, we got the tag team rolling. We kind of put our heads together. We're like, here's what we'll do. And we did it and we produced. And it got to the point where it's like, we were always told you're being judged on the amount of live events that you're working. So that was the biggest thing, Don't ask for a review.
You can't forget about the pitches either.
What's up?
The pitches also. The amount of pitches that we turned in.
Exactly. That was just one part of it, man. It was something where it's like you guys everybody needs to try. Everybody needs to turn in pitches and ideas. So we turned in 10-page pamphlets like every 3 days.
You guys were tag partners, right?
What's that?
You guys were tag partners?
Say again?
You guys were tag team partners?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But, we had, ideas left and right. We turned in, basically full-page pitches, everything from storyline ideas to character